Right now, homeowners in western Wisconsin are trying to stay afloat as flooding threatens their homes. We'll take you there and we'll find out if any relief is in sight.
And with the Mississippi rising, a train running alongside it derails in Crawford County. Why emergency management officials say there is no public safety concern at this time.
3 days after a woman is found dead inside her business, her husband is officially named a suspect, but he's already fled the country. What we've learned about her murder from court documents filed today. That's all coming up right now at 10. Well, another day of flooding for communities along the Mississippi River in Grant County. This is what some residents are dealing with. Their homes and businesses surrounded by water. Many of the village residents have evacuated, leaving their homes until the water recedes.
However, some are staying behind to salvage what they can of their belongings. Tahalil Muhaddin spoke with some about the ordeal they're going through.
Your boots high enough?
A big fan of fishing.
And this way I'll be able to probably fish right out my front door here.
Jeannie Morgan chose this home along the Mississippi River to retire.
I had no idea that I was going to be going through this. Yep, my kids all came down, family, friends, a lot of the neighbors.
Expecting major flooding for days, they've been moving out furniture, putting appliances on lifts, and sandbagging.
I'm just thankful. It could be a lot worse.
Doing what they can to minimize the damage.
Without electricity, Morgan's generators have been running for hours. Trying to pump water out of Morgan's so then it can come back in. Then it can come in.
And we had about 3 or 4 inches of water inside.
To find out why Morgan and others in the neighborhood are having to scramble, we're calling in the experts, our meteorologist, Julian Searay.
Well, this was a result of snow melts from the early snowstorm that we saw here in April, mixed in with the unseasonably warm temperatures. Add those two together, we are seeing flood levels that now are hitting historic levels, and this will rank as a top 5 flood.
I was not kidding about the canoe. I am actually going to take a canoe out and go look at some houses.
Grant County emergency management officials say the good news is this time around they're more prepared.
We've done a lot of mitigation over the last 20 years. After the 2001 Mississippi River flood, we worked with FEMA and with the state of Wisconsin to purchase and demolish floodplain homes.
Still, they couldn't spare every home from Mother Nature.
I've walked around and I've seen houses that it's like halfway up the side of the house. So, you know, those homes are probably basically ruined.
A few highways and county roads near the Mississippi have been closed because of flooding. If you're planning to head west in the next few days, here's where to avoid. In Crawford County, State Highway 82, the Lansing Causeway over the river has been closed. Alternate routes are accessible through La Crosse and also Prairie du Chien.
And further to the northwest in Buffalo County, State Highway 35 is closed at State Highway 95. That's in Fountain City. You can learn more about these road closures and other alternate routes available by visiting 511wi.gov. Take a look at this drone video from earlier today. A freight train derailed this afternoon near Ferryville. That's about 25 miles north of Prairie du Chien. Approximately 20 cars came off the railroad tracks, including 2 that floated downstream in the Mississippi River. They have since run ashore and will be removed. The train was carrying hazardous materials, but emergency management officials say nothing was in the cars that went into the river.
The cargo that being carried is batteries, oxygen, and paint. The response is no hazard to the public. There is no hazardous materials that we are concerned about for public safety.
4 crew members on board were evaluated for injuries, although it is unknown if anyone was seriously hurt. The cause of the derailment remains under investigation. Here in Dane County, it finally felt like spring. Temperatures climbed into the 60s, but it doesn't appear those will last very long.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has what you need to know as you get ready to plan your weekend. His first warn forecast. Gary?
Well, we do have rain in the forecast, but not until Saturday and Sunday. So we'll see another dry day tomorrow with high temperatures, very similar to today. As we take a look at the time lapse from the WISC-TV Skycam, you can see we had sunshine much of the day today, just a few cirrus clouds, and that was about it. So a lot of sunshine. Tomorrow we'll see a little more cloud cover, but temperatures will still be similar. High temperatures today here in Madison, we topped out at 66. It was 68 in Janesville. La Crosse hit 70 degrees, but notice closer to Lake Michigan, temperatures stayed in the 50s, and right now temperatures are in the 50s from Madison westward and in the 40s to the east of Dane County. Here in Dane County itself, temperatures range from 51 degrees in Deerfield to 48 in 48 in Mount Horeb and 46 in Cross Plains. Otherwise, compared to 24 hours ago, those temperatures are up by somewhere between about 5 and 10 degrees for the most part. So look for skies to be partly cloudy overnight, low temperature dropping to 40, so a little milder than last night. We do have rain in the forecast for the weekend. I'll tell you how much we can expect in just a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. New details inside court documents reveal the man suspected of killing his wife fled the country a full day before her body was discovered. Earlier today, police named 37-year-old Jose Duenas-Quinones a suspect in the death of his wife, 43-year-old Michaela Juarez-Occult. He was previously considered just a person of interest. Authorities say a young daughter he shares with the victim is with him, but she's not believed to be in any danger. Occult was found dead inside a business she owned on Madison Southwest Side Monday afternoon. The criminal complaint says she was stabbed to death, but the medical examiner has not yet released autopsy results. Flight records show Duenas-Quinones and his daughter flew from Chicago to Mexico Sunday morning. A warrant is now out for his arrest. For the first time in 10 years, the Madison Police Department has released a strategic plan to outline its goals.
Our Nicole Herzog has the key points from that report.
Well, as trust in police keeps getting lower, a new 5-year plan from the Madison Police Department aims to rebuild those relationships through transparency and collaboration with the community. The report focuses on 4 main goals: Madison-centric policing, youth engagement, improving communication with the public, and MPD's workplace culture. One of the main ways they'll do that is through the creation of police advisory boards in each of the 6 districts. Those groups will prioritize Black, Latino, Asian, and LGBTQ+ voices in the community. They also plan to work with partner agencies to respond to mental health, homelessness, and substance abuse issues.
Everything that we do, whether it's exploring body-worn cameras or whether it's exploring some type of initiative aimed at stolen cars or reducing guns that are on our streets, we sit down and we talk about what could happen from our presence in communities.
But the department's police chief says getting to the root of those problems starts with Madison's young people. MPD will host monthly meetings with young people to share their ideas, plus hold surveys and focus groups with young people of color for feedback. And the full details from that report can be found on the Madison Police Department's website.
Nicole, thank you. A live look right now at the NFL draft room. This is one of the press conference rooms there in Kansas City. Someone just drafted by the Patriots there, speaking with the media right now. Just a few picks left in the first round, and the Packers made their pick. If you're a Big Ten football fan, we know there are a few of you out there. You may just know his name. Zach will share more on who that is a little bit later in sports.
A much more quiet scene tonight outside Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee. It'll be nearly 6 months until the Bucks are back inside playing basketball after last night's Game 5 overtime loss to the Miami Heat. Milwaukee had lofty expectations for a title run, but fell short in the opening round, winning just 1 game.
They're still trying to recover. Heading into last night's elimination game, though, as Andrew Banster reports, there was plenty of optimism there in the Deer District.
Left about 7 o'clock this morning, got down to Milwaukee. Actually, Madison picked him up at UW-Madison, drove over, went to the Brewer game.
This family hoped momentum from a Brewers win would carry crosstown to the Bucks.
I think with the Bucks having their backs against the wall, Giannis is going to come out tonight, and he's not going to let them lose.
But in Game 5, the Bucks blew a 16-point lead in the fourth, the largest fourth-quarter comeback in a series-clinching win in NBA history. The Heat nearly missed the playoffs, and the Bucks had the best record in the NBA. Yet, in their first healthy run since winning a title in 2021, the Bucks became the 6th 1 seed in NBA history to lose to an 8 seed in the first round of the playoffs.
I mean, we had everything set up this year. Every single time, first, second, third quarter, we're in the lead, and then we lose it in the fourth. We can't do that, you know?
Jimmy Butler forced overtime in the final seconds, scoring a combined 98 points in games 4 and 5. But the Bucks had chances. Giannis missed 13 free throws. They sat on timeouts in regulation and overtime, leaving the ball in Grayson Allen's hands, who didn't get a shot off to end the season.
It's disappointing, but we'll bounce back. We got a good, solid team. Hopefully, coaching's fixed up, you know, in the offseason. We're back at it.
From championship hopeful to coming to a crashing halt at the end of the season, Bucks fans right now just don't know how to process these emotions. In Milwaukee, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Now.
Andrew, thank you. And for the first time since being freed from Russian custody, WNBA star Brittany Griner spoke publicly today about her time imprisoned there. She spent more than 300 days behind bars after authorities found cannabis oil in her luggage. Greiner shared what helped her get through some of her lowest moments while detained.
When I did lose my hope, looking at photos of my family, that brought my hope back. Just being able to see their faces, that did it for me, you know. In a moment where you kind of want to give up, you look at the photos and it kind of brings you back.
Her detention was widely seen as politically motivated. She was also on hand for the unveiling of a mural with the faces of more than a dozen wrongfully detained Americans. The mural is in Arizona, not far from the arena where she plays as a member of the Phoenix Mercury.
Former Vice President Mike Pence testified this afternoon to a federal grand jury investigating the aftermath of the 2020 election. The testimony comes hours after former President Donald Trump lost an appeal to prevent it. Pence has spoken publicly before about Trump's pressure campaign to block Congress from certifying Joe Biden's victory. But today was the first time he did so under oath. It is the first time in history a vice president has been compelled to testify about the president he served. More local stories are ahead at 10. In less than a year since first opening, the Flex Lane has helped cut commute times on the Beltline.
Coming up, we go inside the Wisconsin Traffic Management Center for a behind-the-scenes look at how the DOT manages and maintains the Flex Lane.
When an appliance you rely on goes kaput, you can count on family-owned Brothers Maine, Southern Wisconsin's local appliance authority since 1938. With thousands of in-stock options, we have the brands you want at the lowest prices guaranteed. Even big box can't beat our prices. Our experienced team of appliance experts will help you make the right selection, and we deliver it fast and free to your home. What you need when you need it. Shop appliances you can bring home today at our Madison and Janesville showrooms. Feel like family. Brothers Maine.
Why are there 2 extra seats? Are we getting 2 Great Danes? I know, giant Uncle Dane and his giant beard. Maybe a dragon. Twin sisters! And one is a robot and one is a knight. And I'll be on the side of the octopus.
The Volkswagen Atlas with best-in-class third-row legroom. Visit your local Volkswagen dealer for 4.9% APR financing for 72 months on a new 2023 Atlas or Atlas Cross Sport.
There are so many things we take for granted. So many things. And along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for their survival for granted too. The elderly, disabled, the veterans, people on limited and fixed incomes, or folks that lost jobs in sectors hardest hit during the pandemic. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? Some people just can't come back. And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind, struggling to keep their heat, water, and power on. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our heat, water, and power providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Spring into action and save on stressless seating at the Century House. Now get $400 off all classic power recliners, signature base recliners and ottomans, and cross base recliners and ottomans. And get $400 off most sofas and love seats. Imagine how much you can save building your dream sectional. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
Nicole Byer is crushing it. My very first celebrity crush was Vin Diesel. Have you met him? Oh my God, is he here? Bring out Vin Diesel! Plus, from Bob Hart, Abishola. Polake Oro Oyeku.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. A year ago, a drive from the east side of Madison to the west side would take you almost twice as long as it does now.
The flex lanes on the Beltline are the reason why, but how exactly do they work? Susan Simon takes us inside Wisconsin's Traffic Nerve Center to find out.
Rush hour in Madison has been a maddening experience for decades. Over 130,000 cars traverse the Beltline every day. So DOT engineers decided to flex their options, turning the shoulder into a 4th lane to release the pressure. It's a move being seen in many large cities.
The flex lane is the first in Wisconsin.
there aren't any others in Wisconsin.
The DOT opened the flex lanes July 13th. In less than a year, they've cut commute times in half and reduced the number of accidents. But speeding remains a concern.
We do notice that speeds in the flex lane are higher than they are in the other 3 lanes. The flex lane is the no truck lane, so there aren't any trucks in that lane.
A green arrow tells drivers you can drive in the flex lane. A red X means the lane is closed, and a yellow X warns you the flex lane is ending soon. The flex lane runs for 10 miles from the I-3990 interchange to just east of Whitney Way. It opens when congestion on the Beltline starts to build, so you may be wondering who's watching that and who makes that call. The flex lanes are monitored 24 hours a day and operated remotely from Milwaukee.
We are in the Wisconsin DOT Bureau of Traffic Operations Traffic Management Center.
On big screens, the Traffic Management Center monitors highways across the state to get a live, real-time view of what's happening. How big of an area are we watching from this place?
So the state has 500 plus cameras around the state, from the state line all the way to Superior.
The idea is to keep drivers safe with information on road conditions, construction, and crashes. If there's an incident on any highway, it shows up here as a green, yellow, or red alert. The Wisconsin State Patrol's dispatch also sits in this room.
And when we have an incident on camera, it's great that we can share that video directly with the trooper in the field before they arrive so they can see what they're coming into.
What do you not do from here?
We do not enforce the law here. We don't have the ability to ticket somebody from the control room. We get asked that question a lot. You know, if we do see egregious violations of the law, a drunk driver perhaps, or aggressive drivers, we can call that into law enforcement if we observe it on camera.
18 full-time employees at the TMC monitor traffic around the clock. Melanie is operating the flex lane. How many cameras are there on the flex lane alone?
36.
36. And so how many sections are you looking at each day?
Anywhere from 25 to 28 segments.
Getting the flex lane open is not as simple as flipping a switch. The entire 10 miles is checked for debris and other hazards.
The 36 cameras on the flex lane are used to, progressively view that pavement from one end to the other at the same time that an FST, a Dane County Sheriff's deputy, is driving through the lane in the other direction.
It is Melanie's call to decide if and when the flex lanes will open. I'm feeling stressed looking over your shoulder. You've got a lot of responsibility.
And being able to combine all of it and in a system like the flex lane that can really help out a community like Madison, I'm very proud of it. I'm very happy that we've been able to do it, and it's been a success.
In 2019, the average time it would take you to drive from Verona Road to the interstate was 24 minutes, and that's according to the DOT.
And now with the flex lanes, it takes just 12, a 50% reduction in travel time.
We have more information on the Traffic Management Center and the flex lanes on channel3000.com.
Starting tomorrow morning, construction may slow you down if you travel through the Isthmus. The 300 block of West Johnson will go from 3 lanes to 2 starting at 7 a.m. Drivers should expect delays during the afternoon rush hour as a result of those fewer lanes being open.
And Gary's back now with a full check of the first warn forecast.
Well, try to keep it as dry as we can for as long as we can, because the rivers, the major rivers, Mississippi River at flood stage or above. Let's take a look first of all at 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Right now, it looks like we're looking at least one more mild day. High temperatures tomorrow, probably in the middle 60s. But then we have some excuse me, I could feel that sneeze coming on. I couldn't hold it back. But we do have some showers over the weekend, and unfortunately that will cool us down. In fact, we could even be cold enough to see a few flakes of snow mix in with the showers late Saturday night into early Sunday morning, and then again Sunday night into early Monday morning. And that'll keep high temperatures chilly in the 40s and lower 50s through Tuesday of next week. By the end of the week, though, those temperatures should start to rebound. You can see the flood warning still in effect for just about the entire Mississippi River from the Twin Cities southward and other rivers, especially like the Missouri River and the Red River up through the Dakotas. That also above flood stage. Many cases, major flooding occurring along those rivers. Now up to the north, that's where all the showers have been today, and they're staying up in the far northern part of the state. The problem is that water eventually will work its way southward. 6-hour future track radar radar continues to show light to moderate showers in that area, but that will continue through the weekend. We'll see our chances for showers come in from the west as a cold front moves in, and again, that going over those rivers that are at or above flood stage, that could have the rivers start rising again, even though they're expected, at least the Mississippi River is expected to peak over the next couple of days. But future track precipitation through noon on Tuesday calls for about a quarter to half inch of rain through much of southern Wisconsin. Heavier amounts favoring northeastern Wisconsin, lighter amounts in the southwestern part of the state. But even though this area is expected to see less precipitation, again, some heavier precipitation up to the north, eventually working its way into the Wisconsin River, the St. Croix, and the Mississippi River. So that could cause river levels to rise toward the middle and latter parts of next week, depending on how much rain actually falls. As we look at our forecast for tomorrow, look for variably cloudy skies. High temperature still pretty mild, around 66 degrees. Planning your day across Dane County, high 66 in Oregon, 67 in Mount Horeb, and 66 in DeForest. A little more cloud cover than today. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, high 68 in Janesville, 70 in La Crosse, maybe a late day shower there. Notice cooler again near Lake Michigan, high temperatures in the 50s, Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha. Future track, though, starting at just after midnight Friday night, you can see one batch of showers moving on through, and then maybe a break during the day on Saturday. But notice those temperatures only in the 40s and 50s, and then some more showers come in Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening. And then as temperatures start dropping Saturday night, it's possible that some of those showers can mix with a few flakes of snow. But again, precipitation amounts probably a quarter to a half inch through Tuesday morning. As we look at the first warned 7 to 10 day forecast, those temperatures stay chilly for Sunday and Monday. It'll also be windy as well. But as we get sunshine returning, temperatures should be back up to around or a little above normal toward the end of next week.
And coming up in sports, the pick is in. Who Green Bay selected in the first round of the draft and why he says being a Packer was meant to be. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. We won't stop fighting for you and your family. Gruber Lofts, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Superior, Wisconsin. It's a must-stop for people who enjoy the sweeter side of life.
It's time to celebrate and save during Blaine's Farm and Fleet of Baraboo's grand reopening event going on now. Join us for 3 days of giveaways, prize drawings, daily expert demos, and more. Plus, shop huge store-wide savings like large jugs of Era laundry detergent, just $7.99. 50-pound bags of Blaine's brand black oil sunflower seed, $24.99 while supplies last. And assorted dog and cat toys are buy one, get one free. Don't miss Blaine's Farm and Fleet of Baraboo's grand reopening event going on now.
There are so many things we take for granted. So many things. And along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for their survival for granted too. The elderly, disabled, the veterans, people on limited and fixed incomes, or folks that lost jobs in sectors hardest hit during the pandemic. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? Some people just can't come back. And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind, struggling to keep their heat, water, and power on. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our heat, water, and power providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Make a move in the most electrifying Honda vehicles yet. Like the CR-V and Accord, with available hybrid powertrains designed for more responsive performance and more advanced tech. When you drive a Honda, you're driving with the 2022 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. Get moving. and find the Honda for you. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
A truck crash can be life-changing. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. We have a powerful team with the knowledge, resources, and history of results you'll need. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
The Packers didn't have to wait long to make their first-round selection in this year's NFL Draft, and the thought was with the 13th overall pick, maybe help out Jordan Love and get him a weapon on offense. Well, instead, they decided to go defensive and take Iowa D-end Lucas Van Ness. Last season as a sophomore, he earned second-team All-Big Ten honors for racking up 11 TFLs and 6.5 sacks. He spent the draft night in Fontana, Wisconsin, and it's fitting the Packers picked him.
I'm at a loss for words. Just, finally coming to a sense of my emotions. I'm extremely happy to see this all come to fruition. And, I couldn't have asked for a better result. And I'm just so happy to be a Packer. And, obviously, go Pack, go. I grew up in Chicago, and I was always a hockey kid. So, honestly, I was a Blackhawks fan, and, couldn't be happier to be on Green Bay.
The Jefferson baseball team is coming off back-to-back state runner-up finishes, and even though it's early, the Eagles believe that they can win it all this year. That confidence comes from their head coach, Greg Featherston, who sets his team up with a mindset for success. For over 2 decades, good job, Greg Featherston has been leading Jefferson baseball.
Without him, we would be nowhere close to where we were.
Over 350 wins, 4 trips to state, 3 runner-up trophies, and a state championship.
He knows how to be successful and how to win, and that's helpful. And he passes that on to all the coaches and the players that you can do what you want to do, and that's how you're going to get successful, by believing in what you can do.
And from the start, Featherston's been about one thing.
You got to go up there and believe you're going to make a play. You got to believe that you're going to be able to put the ball in play, and believe that your teammates are going to make things happen. So that's kind of been our word, believe.
Getting his Eagles to believe they can succeed.
Any doubts in your head, you're going to have a higher chance of not getting the job done. So just believing in ourselves and our team, we're going to have more confidence, more energy, and just play better. Not always the most skilled team wins, and he says that a lot. You got to believe in what you have and what you can do and all the work that you put in.
It's a message this group takes to heart.
Attack that ball.
For him, belief is just like your mindset. If you don't have a good mindset, or you don't believe that you can do it, you're not going to do it. So that's his big thing, is believing that you can do the job in the right spot.
No matter if they're swinging for the fences or not. Just like in Game 4, the Bucs blew a double-digit lead in the 4th and lost to the Heat. But last night's was worse. It was the first time an 8 seed beat a 1 seed in 12 years. Obviously, not an ideal ending in Milwaukee's season, but they didn't help themselves in this series, and it showed. And now this group has to deal with that early exit for the rest of the summer.
They were playing to beat us, and we were playing to win the championship, which I don't understand. Like, I think we're just a little bit ahead of ourselves, to be honest with you, and we just got to feel it now. We got to use this as motivation. Hopefully we can come back next year and be better.
We'll be right back.
It's easier to manage my chemo side effects since the Grace Supportive Care came to see me. They're taking the time to listen and talk about options for feeling better.
A Grace, caring every step of the way.
Thank you so much for picking up.
When you really desperately need to talk to your insurance company, when you're having one of the worst days of your life.
What do people do at a time like this?
Sometimes you just want to talk to someone, a person, not a robot or a recording or an app. Oh, sure, we have all that stuff.
By Friday.
But on a day like that,
just like that,
that phone line can end up feeling like a lifeline.
Thank you so much for listening.
At a time like that, you want a company like West Bend, because the worst brings out our best.
Join the Circle of Life at the Lion King. Experience the world's #1 musical, Don't miss your chance to see The Lion King, one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage.
Coming to Overture Center May 11th through 28th. Tickets on sale now at overture.org.
I had a lot of bad days with gout, but that one took the wedding cake. Even with medicine, my uric acid was still too high to stop painful gout buildup. Then a gout specialist told me about Cristexa.
Cristexa is a prescription medicine for adults with gout whose symptoms are not controlled by other gout medicines.
I learned Cristexa quickly starts working to break down gout buildup.
Cristexa is an infused medicine. Serious life-threatening allergic reactions can occur while taking Cristexa. Tell your doctor right away if you have symptoms such as shortness of breath, trouble breathing, dizziness, itching, or swelling of the throat or tongue. Cristexa is not recommended if you have high levels of uric acid without a history of gout. Do not take Cristexa if you have a rare disorder called G6PD deficiency or favism. Before receiving Cristexa, tell your doctor if you have a history of heart problems and all the medicines you take. Cristexa may cause gout flare-ups, allergic reactions, nausea, bruising, sore throat, constipation, chest pain, and vomiting.
I received Cristexa for about 6 months. Now I'm in control, not gout.
Find a doctor who specializes in gout at goutdocnow.com.
Our phones keep us constantly connected.
Please switch to airplane mode.
But what if they had a mode to help us actually connect? Introducing Us Mode, a mode that makes our phones less distracting, so we can focus on quality time. So the notifications we get are the ones that matter. So we're never distracted from what's most important. Visit US Cellular in-store or online to set up Us Mode for free, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, built for us.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors for 35 years. Call today for free information.
Call 800-550-5543.
Gary's back. Final check.
Not as chilly as it was last night at this time. Temperatures are in the lower 50s away from Lake Michigan. Madison right now 51. Most areas in Dane County right around the 50-degree mark. So expect a cool night today.
All right, Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.